Well, what do you want?
Do we have the pleasure of addressing Mr. Scrooge or Mr. Marley?
Jacob Marley has been dead these 7 years. In fact, he died 7 years ago this very day.
Oh, we're sorry. What a pity to die on Christmas Eve.
It's as good a day as any. What does Christmas have to do with it? For that matter, what does Christmas have to do with anything? Please get on with the nature of your business.
My name is Poole, and this is my wife. We have no doubt that Mr. Marley's generosity is well represented by his surviving partner. At this festive season of the year, Mr. Scrooge, it is more than usually desirable that we should make some slight provision for the poor and the destitute in our city.
Are there no prisons?
Plenty of prisons.
And the union workhouses? Are they still in operation?
They are. I wish with all my heart that they were not.
The treadmills are still in full operation, I assume.
All very busy, sir.
Oh, I was afraid from what you said that something had stopped them in their useful course. I am quite relieved to hear that they are very much in use.
I don't think you quite understand us, sir. A few of us are endeavoring to raise some funds to buy the poor some meat and drink and means of warmth.
Why?
Because it is at Christmas time that want is most keenly felt and abundance rejoices. What can we put you down for?
Huh. Nothing.
You wish to be anonymous?
I wish to be left alone. Since you asked me what I wish for, that is my answer. I help to support the establishments I have mentioned. Those who are badly off must go there.
But many can't go there.
And some would rather die.
If they had rather die, they had better do it and decrease the surplus population. Besides, it's not my business.
Isn't it, sir?
No. It is enough for a man to understand his own business without interfering with other people's. Mine occupies me constantly.
In that case, we must apologize for interrupting you, sir. Come, my dear. Let us be gone.
Good afternoon.
Merry Christmas.
And the same to you, sir.
A Merry Christmas to you, Bob Cratchit.
And the same to you, Mr. Fred.
Merry Christmas, Uncle. I said Merry Christmas, Uncle, and God save you.
Well, what do you want?
Neither to borrow money nor to beg a mortgage. I only wish you a Merry Christmas.
You keep Christmas in your own way, and leave me to keep it in mine.
But you don't keep it, Uncle Ebenezer.
Let me leave it alone then. Much good it will do you to keep it. Much good it has ever done you.
Well, it certainly has done me no harm.
Your marriage has certainly done that.
My marriage was the making of me.
The ruin of you, you mean?
Why don't you come and see for yourself? If you won't take my word for it, come and dine with us tomorrow.
No, thank you.
But why?
Why did you marry against my wishes?
Because I fell in love.
Fell in love. With a woman as penniless as yourself. Oh, good evening.
We've never had a quarrel that I've ever been party to. I came here in the spirit of bright goodwill, and I won't let you dampen it.
Humbug.
Uncle, don't be cross.
What else can I be when I live in such a world of fools as this?
Please, don't be angry with me, Uncle. I only want for you to come and dine with Bess and me tomorrow. It would be such a great joy to us.
You are wasting my time and your own. Good evening, nephew.
Merry Christmas, Uncle Ebenezer.
Humbug.
And a Happy New Year. Bob, my fine fellow, how are Mrs. Cratchit and all the small assorted Cratchits?
They're all fine, sir, I'm sure.
All chomping at the bit for Christmas to begin, eh?
Oh, yes, all very eager, sir.
Good. You'll give them my best wishes?
Yes, I will, sir. Thank you for remembering them, Mr. Fred.
Goodbye, Cratchit.
Goodbye, sir.
And a Merry Christmas.
Marley was dead. There could be no doubt whatever about that. The register of his burial was signed by the clergyman, the clerk, the undertaker, and the chief mourner. Scrooge himself had signed it. And Scrooge's name was good upon change for anything he chose to put his hand to. Scrooge knew he was dead? Of course he did. How could it be otherwise? Ebenezer Scrooge and Jacob Marley were partners for who knows how many years. Scrooge was his sole executor, his sole administrator, his sole benefactor, his sole friend, and was certainly his sole mourner. And even Scrooge was not so dreadfully cut by the event. But, as he was an excellent man of business, on the very day of the funeral, he attended it and solemnized it as an undoubted bargain. The mention of Marley's funeral brings me back to the point I started from. There is no doubt that Marley was dead. This must be distinctly understood, or nothing wonderful can come of the story I am about to relate. Scrooge never painted out old Marley's name. There it stood, years afterward, above the warehouse door. Scrooge and Marley. The firm was known as Scrooge and Marley. Sometimes people new in the business called him Scrooge and sometimes Marley, but he answered to both names. It was all the same to him. Now, it came about, once upon a time, of all the good days of the year, on Christmas Eve. Old Scrooge sat busy in his counting house. It was cold, bleak, biting weather, foggy withal, and he could hear the people outside the counting house go wheezing up and down, beating their hands upon their breasts to warm them. Old Scratch shook his head in disgust. Fools! Out upon a cold day like this? Christmas? Bah! It's humbug! What's Christmas but a time for buying things which people have no need nor money? A time for finding oneself a year older and not an hour richer. If I could work my will, every idiot who goes about with Merry Christmas on his lips would be boiled in his own pudding and buried with a stake of holly through his heart. The city clocks were nearing the 7 o'clock hour, and it was quite dark. Candles were flaring in the windows of the neighboring offices, but the fog, which came pouring in at every chink and keyhole, was so thick that although the street was narrow, the candlelights appeared to be nothing more than phantoms on this evening. Scrooge waited for the bell to cease, for he was a tight-fisted old man, a squeezing, wrenching, grasping, scraping, clutching, covetous old sinner, and he could not bear the bell stealing one moment of his time and money.
I suppose you'll want the whole day off tomorrow.
If quite convenient, sir.
It's not convenient, and it's not fair. If I was to stop your wages a half a crown for it, you'd think yourself ill-used, I'll be bound.
'Tis only once a year, sir.
A poor excuse for picking a man's pocket every 25th day of December.
I'm very sorry, sir, to cause such an inconvenience, sir. It's the family, sir. They really put their hearts into Christmas, as it were, sir.
Yes, and put their hands into my pockets, as it were, sir. But I suppose you must have the day off. Be here all the earlier the next morning.
Yes, I will indeed, sir. Thank you, sir. It's more than generous of you, sir.
Yes, I know it is. You don't have to tell me.
A Merry Christmas to you, Mr. Scrooge.
A Merry Christmas. And you a clerk on 15 shillings a week. A Merry Christmas, I am sure. Humbug.
Mr. Scrooge, sir.
Who are you?
Samuel Wilkins, sir.
Ah, yes. You owe me. Yes, Samuel Wilkins, you owe me 20 pounds, I believe. Well, if you want to pay, come to my place of business. I don't conduct my affairs in the teeth of inclement weather.
I can't pay you, sir.
I'm not surprised.
Not unless you give me more time.
Did I ask you for more time to lend you the money?
Oh, no, sir.
Then why should you ask me for more time to pay it back?
I can't take my wife and family to a debtor's prison.
Then leave them behind. Why should they go to a debtor's prison? They didn't borrow the 20 pounds. You did. What do they have to do with it? For that matter, what do I have to do with it? Good afternoon.
But Mr. Scrooge, it's Christmas.
Christmas has even less to do with it than your wife has or I have. Now, you still owe me 20 pounds. If you are not in a position to repay, I will see you in a debtor's prison. Good afternoon.
Have a Merry Christmas, Governor.
It's Mr. Scrooge. He's coming this way.
2 pounds 5 shillings, ladies, due before Christmas.
Well, you see, Mr. Scrooge, we've given more credit than usual.
Yes, what with the Christmas holiday and all, we've been giving people more time to pay.
That's your business, ladies. Mine is to collect 2 pounds 5 shillings now.
We're trying to bring cheer to families without rest, sir, and at this time of the year, people can't afford it.
Neither can I afford it. However, as I can sometimes be a generous man, I will give you until the day following Christmas.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Scrooge.
Oh, yes. Thank you, sir. It's so generous of you, I'm sure.
Yes, I know it is. It will only cost you a further 6 shillings.
6? Oh, but Mr. Scrooge, we will scarcely make that much by the day after Christmas.
If you would prefer me to confiscate your store and its contents, which is my legal right, I will do so.
No, we'll pay, sir.
You will both sign this.
A penny for the baby, Governor, on Christmas?
Humbug. I can't be bothered. I don't make a practice of making merry at Christmas. Why should I make a little child merry?
Oh, come now, Governor, please. Just a penny for the baby, that's all.
Bah, humbug. It's all humbug.
More shame for him.
He said that Christmas is a humbug as I live. He believed it too. He's a comical old fellow, that's the truth. And not so pleasant as he might be. However, his offenses carry their own punishment, and so I'll owe nothing against him. Here, dearie, you take this home with you. Have a Merry Christmas in spite of old Scratch.
Oh, thank ye. God bless ye 50 times.
Aunt broth, Mr. Scrooge, a small token of Christmas esteem with the compliments of Tom Jenkins. And there'll be another can of this here hot broth every night for the coming year in gratitude for your infinite kindness in giving me another 2 weeks to pay.
1 week.
10 days.
1 week.
1 week.
Put a lid on that stuff and I'll take it home.
in chambers which had once belonged to his partner, Jacob Marley. They were a gloomy suite of rooms in a neighborhood that was old and dreary. No one lived in the neighborhood except Scrooge. The street on which he lived was so dark that even Scrooge, who knew its very stone, was fain to grope with his hands. Now, it is a fact that there was nothing at all particular about the knocker on the door, except that it was very large. It is also a fact that Scrooge had seen it night after night for as many years as he had been in residence there. Let it also be borne in mind that Scrooge had not bestowed one thought on Marley since the last mention of his dead partner that afternoon. So then, let any man explain to me, if he can, how it happened that Scrooge, having his key in the lock of the door, saw not a door knocker, but the face of Jacob Marley. And then, just as Scrooge was setting his mind to determine what was transpiring, it was a door knocker again. To say that Scrooge was not startled would be untrue, but he put his hand upon the key he had relinquished, opened the door, and entered the house. He did pause with a moment's irresolution before he shut the door, as if he half expected to see Jacob Marley standing there. But there was nothing on the back of the door, and so he closed it with a bang that resounded through the house, and locking himself in, he climbed the dark staircase, entered his chambers, and began preparing for the night.
Hear me, Ebenezer Scrooge.
What do you want with me?
Much.
Who are you?
Ask me who I was.
Who were you then? You're a bit particular for a spirit.
In life, I was your partner, Jacob Marley.
Can you sit down?
I can.
Do it then.
You don't believe in me, do you, Ebenezer?
I don't.
Why do you doubt your senses?
Because a little thing affects them. A slight disorder of the stomach makes them cheat. You may be an undigested bit of beef, a blot of mustard, a crumb of cheese, a fragment of underdone potato. There is more of gravy than the grave about you, whatever you are.
Whether you believe in me or not, you will listen to what I have to say, notwithstanding.
Humbug! I will not listen.
Do you see these fetters?
I do. Why are you fettered?
I wear the chain I forged in life. I made it link by link and yard by yard. I girded it on of my own free will, and of my own free will I wore it. And Scrooge, you do not know the length of the strong chain you wear yourself. It was fully as heavy and as long as this 7 Christmas Eves ago, and you have labored on it since. It is a ponderous chain.
No, Jacob. Please speak comfort to me, Jacob.
I cannot. I have none to give, Ebenezer. I wish that I could speak comfort, but that comes from other regions and is conveyed by other ministers to other kinds of men. I cannot rest. I cannot linger anywhere. My spirit never walked beyond our counting house, mark me. In life, my spirit never rode past the narrow limits of our money-changing hole, and weary journeys lie before me.
But you were always a good man of business, Jacob.
Business? Mankind was my business. The common welfare was my business. Charity, mercy, forbearance, and benevolence were all my business. The dealings of my trade were but a drop of water in the comprehensive ocean of my business. Oh, woe is me! At this time of the rolling year, I suffer most. Why did I walk through crowds of fellow beings with my eyes turned down, and never raise them to that blessed star which led wise men to a poor abode?
You have my sympathy, Jacob.
Hear me, Scrooge. I am here tonight to warn you that you yet have a chance of hope of escaping my fate.
Oh, you were always a good friend to me.
For the next 3 nights, you will be visited by 3 spirits.
3 more spirits, Jacob. Is this the chance of hope you mentioned?
It is.
I think I'd rather not.
Expect the first tonight when the bell tolls 1.
Couldn't I take them all at once and have it over, Jacob?
Expect the second on the next night at the same hour. The third upon the next night when the last stroke of 12 has ceased to vibrate. Look to see me no more, and for your sake, Ebenezer, take note that you remember what has passed between us tonight.
Buck.
When Scrooge awoke, it was so dark that, looking out of his bed, he could scarcely distinguish the windows from the walls of his bedchamber. He was endeavoring to pierce the darkness when the chimes of a neighboring church began to strike. To his great astonishment, the heavy bell went on from 6 to 7, and from 7 to 8, and regularly up to 12, then stopped. Instantly, he knew something was amiss. It was past 2 when he went to bed. The clock was wrong. Why, he thought, It isn't possible that I could have slept through a whole day and far into another night. He lay there and mulled this over in his mind. What could be happening? He heard the 1/4 chimes, 1/2 chimes, 1 o'clock. When at last the clock struck 1, he breathed a sigh of relief and chuckled to himself. The hour has come and nothing has... Then it was that a light flashed up in his room and the curtains of his bed were drawn back, I tell you, by a hand. Scrooge sat up with a start in the middle of his bed.
Are you the visitor whose coming was foretold to me?
I am.
Who are you, then? What is your name?
I am Christmas past.
Long ago past?
No, your past.
Well, what have you come for?
I have come for your welfare, Mr. Scrooge.
I can think of no greater welfare than a night of uninterrupted sleep.
Your reclamation, then. Take heed what you shall see. Arise, Ebenezer. Walk with me.
But I am a mortal. It is cold outside.
Bear but a touch of my hand, and you will be as I, immortal and invincible. We will first visit a child, a youth. You will see yourself, Ebenezer.
Good heavens!
Do you recall this place?
Recall it? I went to school here.
These are but shadows of things that have been. Do you recognize the solitary lad who is left alone while the others are off home for Christmas?
That is myself.
Was yourself.
Oh, Abby!
Fan!
Oh, dear brother, I have come to bring you home, forever and ever. Oh, Father is so much kinder than he used to be. At home is like heaven.
For you, perhaps, but not for me. He doesn't know me, nor even what I look like. Same as I hardly know you, now that you've become quite a woman. My mom must have looked just as you do now, just before she died.
Perhaps that's what has changed his feelings toward you. Oh, he spoke to me so gently one night before I went to bed. And he said that you should come home. And oh, Abby, you are never to come back to this boarding school anymore. You are never to be lonely again.
Never to be lonely again?
Never, Abby. Never for as long as I live.
Well, then you must live forever, Fan. No one else ever cared for me. And no one else ever will.
Oh, dear brother, what nonsense! You must forgive Papa. He does love you, Abby. Come, let's go home.
Your sister was always a delicate girl, but she had a large heart.
That's true. She had.
She died a married woman and had, I think, children, did she not?
One child.
True, your nephew, who bears a strong resemblance to your sister.
Does he? I hadn't noticed.
You never noticed? I'm beginning to think you've gone through life with your eyes closed, Ebenezer.
She died giving him life.
As your mother died giving you life, for which your father never forgave you, as if you were to blame. You recall this man, no doubt?
It's old Fezziwig.
Oh, yes. Could you please refer that matter to Master Scrooge? Thank you, my dear.
And you recall this place?
Recall it? I was apprenticed here. He was very much attached to me, Mr. Fezziwig was. I was never quite able to understand why he placed so much confidence in my work.
A trust you soon betrayed.
It is the way of the world. There is nothing worse than poverty, and nothing a professor to condemn with such severity as the pursuit of wealth. Besides, old Fezziwig's business ideas were hopelessly behind the time.
Shh. Watch.
Pay attention, everyone. It's Christmas Eve. No more work tonight. Let's clear the way in here before anyone can say Jack Robinson. We need the room. We're going to have ourselves a Christmas party.
He sure was a wonderful man, Ebenezer.
To be sure. Perhaps there was never a finer man anywhere.
I wanted to be just like him.
Instead, you repaid his kindness by putting him out of business? I don't believe you learned your lessons well, Ebenezer. Rather than becoming more like Mr. Fezziwig, you learned to disdain what he represented. Remember? There's Mrs. Fezziwig.
There's Belle. Oh, I'd forgotten how beautiful she was.
I fear you have forgotten many things, Ebenezer. How long since you sang, Ebenezer?
A waste of time and energy.
You didn't think so then.
There was a reason then.
There's been a change in you since you come to work for my father. You used to be so gloomy.
Oh, I think I should warn you, Miss Bell. I am of a serious bent of mind.
Well, I consider seriousness to be an admirable trait of character, but it can be overdone.
I shall take heed of your advice, ma'am, and go through life with a grin on my face. Dearest Belle, if I ever have a change of heart towards you, it will be because my heart has ceased to be.
And it makes no difference that I am poor.
I love you because you are poor, not proud.
Will you always feel like this?
Always. Forever and ever.
It was a night never to be forgotten. Old Fezziwig didn't spare a single thing to make our happiness complete.
Why do you praise him so? What did he spend? 3 or 4 pounds of your mortal money at most? Is that so much that he deserves your praise?
Oh, but it's not that, Christmas past. He had the power to render us happy or unhappy, to make our service light or burdensome, a pleasure or a toil. The happiness he gave was quite as if it had cost a fortune.
What is the matter?
Nothing in particular.
Something, I think.
No. I should just like to be able to say something to my clerk, Bob Cratchit, just now. That is all.
Come, Ebenezer. We've more places to visit tonight. More scenes to recall.
I've seen enough.
There is more, Ebenezer. Look, this happened on another Christmas Eve. It is the same Belle you swore to love for all eternity, Ebenezer. She has not changed by the riches of the world, but you have.
I remember this night, Spirit. I won't look.
You shall.
Ebenezer, you no longer love me.
When have I ever said that?
In words, never.
In what then?
In the way you have changed. An idol has displaced me. And if it can cheer and comfort you in time to come as I have tried to do, I have no just cause to grieve.
What idol has displaced you, Belle? My feelings have not changed towards you.
A golden idol has displaced me. Your hopes have merged into a master passion. Profit in the thought of money has become your god.
This is the way of the world, Belle. There is nothing worse than poverty, and nothing it professes to condemn as the pursuit of wealth.
You fear the world too much, Ebenezer. Our contract is an old one. It was made when we were both poor and content to be so until in good season we could improve ourselves. Now you changed, Ebenezer. You used to love God first and then me. Now you love your money first. You feign your love for me, and your love for God is non-existent. When our contract was made, you were a different man.
I was but a child then, Belle.
Your own feelings tell you that you've changed. I have given it much thought, and have concluded that since you no longer love me, but are sold out to your idol of gold, I must release you. May you be happy in the life you have chosen.
I beg of you, show me no more.
I have told you, these are but shadows of things which have been. They are what they are. Do not blame me. Come, let us go, Ebenezer.
He almost went after her that day. Almost, but not quite. What a different world this would be if the almost were only to become altogethers. Had Ebenezer Scrooge gone after his first love that day, maybe, just maybe, his life would have been filled with joy. Maybe he would not have become the poor, wretched man he became. But as he would have it, he watched her walk away, out of his life forever. Poor, poor, wretched Ebenezer Scrooge. Suddenly, in his dream, old Scrooge awoke in the middle of a loud snore, and sitting up in bed, he attempted to get his thoughts together. Scrooge had no occasion to be told that the bell was again upon the stroke of 1, but he did feel that he had been restored to consciousness in the nick of time for the purpose of the second messenger.
Ebenezer Scrooge! Come into the parlor! Come in! Come in and know me better, man! Look upon me! I am the spirit of Christmas present! Have you never seen the like of me before?
Never.
And have you never known my elder brothers and sisters, born these years before me?
I'm afraid I haven't had the pleasure. Have you many siblings, Spirit?
Oh, yes! More than 1,800!
A tremendous family to provide for, I'm sure.
So, tell me, Scrooge, is your heart still unmoved by Christmas?
I am too old and beyond hope. Go and redeem some younger, more promising person. Please leave me alone to keep Christmas in my own way.
Mortal. We spirits of Christmas do not live only one day a year. We live the whole 365. So it is true of the Christ child born in Bethlehem. He does not only live in the hearts of men one day a year, but in all of them. You have chosen not to seek him in your heart. Therefore, you shall come with me and seek him in the hearts of men of good will. Come, touch my robe. Do you recognize this home?
No, I can't say that I do.
It is the home of your clerk, Bob Cratchit.
Is it? Well, I don't think I'm interested in anything here. Besides, I wouldn't want to disturb them.
Oh, we'll not disturb them. As with Christmas past, we shall be invisible and unheard.
Whatever is keeping your father and your brother Tiny Tim so long? And Martha wasn't as late last Christmas by an hour and a half.
Father probably stopped to talk to the parson. Father always likes to compliment him on his sermons.
Here comes Martha, Mother. Oh, I do hope the pudding's a success this year.
No one makes a better pudding than you do, Mother.
Hooray, Martha's here. There's such a goose, Martha.
Why, bless your heart alive, my dear. How late you are. Oh, well, never mind, just as long as you have come.
There's Father coming in with Tiny Tim.
Here, Martha, you hide, and we'll tell Father who knows when you'll be coming.
Get going, hide quickly.
Where?
Here, under the table.
No, that won't work. Papa would see him when he came in the door. Here, Martha, hide in the closet.
Merry Christmas, everyone!
You're late, Bob Cratchit. And you're quite an icicle, Tim.
Father had a long talk with the pastor. Thought as much.
Why, where's our Martha?
Oh, she's not coming.
Not coming? Not coming on Christmas Day?
Yes, I am, Papa. I can't stand to let them tease you.
Tim was as good as gold in church today.
He's a good boy, Papa.
Sometimes that boy says the strangest things. He told me, coming home, that he had hoped the people in church saw him because he's a cripple, as it might be pleasant for them to remember on Christmas Day who it was that made lame beggars walk and blind men see. It seems that Tim is getting stronger every day, that his limbs are growing, that he's in better spirits, Martha.
Yes, I suppose you're right, Papa. I'm sure that he must be.
Here, I'll get that, Mama.
Thank you, Sarah. Belinda!
Yes, Mama?
Get the applesauce on the table.
Yes, Mama. It's already on the table.
Good girl. Now, I'm going to take one last look at the table just to make sure that all is ready.
What a Christmas! There never was such a Christmas. Here, taste this, Martha. Sweet enough?
Well, it's still a little sour, Papa.
Here we are. You know, I don't think there's anyone, not anyone, who can touch my Christmas hot punch.
Nor do I, Bob. Do you like our table, Papa?
It's beautiful.
Martha, you can go to the oven now.
And get the goose?
Yes, dear.
There never was such a goose.
Yay, I'm so hungry!
Scrumptious.
I'd like to touch it.
Aren't we forgetting something? Lord, we thank you for this bounty you have placed before us. We thank you for this day of love and joy, a day in which we can celebrate the gift of your Son to this earth. Thank you for allowing us to be together, to share with one another and with you the fullness of our hearts on this special day. Amen.
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 Did you just say something?
No.
Why, I thought I heard you.
No, I said nothing. It's a pitifully small bird.
It's all Bob Cratchit can afford.
Every year, I wonder if we'll have enough food for our Christmas feast.
And every year you do a simply marvelous job, my dear. We might be poor in shillings and pounds, but we are rich in the things that really count. God is certainly good to us. Don't you think so, family?
God bless us, everyone.
Good Christmas present. Please tell. Will Tiny Tim live?
I see a vacant chair at the table and a crutch without an owner, carefully preserved. If these shadows remain unaltered by the future, the child will surely die.
Oh, no, kind spirit. Say that he will be spared.
Why? If he be like to die, he'd better do it and decrease the surplus population. Man, if man you be in heart, will you decide what men shall live and what men shall die? It may be that in heaven you are more worthless and less fit to live than millions like this poor man's child.
A triumph, my dear. Another triumph.
Yay, Mama! That's right, Mama! I told you so, Mama. No one makes a better pudding than you do, no matter what you have to work with.
And now, my famous hot punch. Oh, such a smell. Smells like it was made by an expert. Sweet as honey.
Are only experts allowed to taste it, Bob?
No. Glasses, all of you. Now, take your turn, one and all. There's enough punch here for all of you, for more than one serving. A Merry Christmas to us all, my dears. God bless us all.
A Merry Christmas to us all. God bless us, everyone.
Mr. Scrooge, I give you Mr. Scrooge, the founder of the feast.
The founder of the feast, indeed. I wish I had him here. I would give him a piece of my mind to feast upon, and I would hope he would have a good appetite for it.
My dear, the children, it's Christmas Day.
It should be Christmas Day, I am sure, on which one drinks to the health of such a stingy old man as Mr. Scrooge. You know he is, Robert. No one knows it better than you do, poor fellow.
My dear, Christmas Day.
I'll drink to his health for your sake, and for the sake of the days, but not for his. A long life to him, a Merry Christmas, and a Happy New Year.
A Merry Christmas to Mr. Scrooge.
God bless us, everyone.
He said that Christmas is a humbug. He believed it too.
What more shame for him, Fred?
What of it, my dear? His wealth is of no use to him. He doesn't do good with it. He doesn't make himself comfortable with it. He hasn't even the satisfaction of thinking that he's going to benefit us with it.
Oh, I'm sure he's very rich, Fred. At least you always tell me so.
It seems like such a waste of this beautiful season to even discuss him.
I have a good idea. Let's play a guessing game. I'm thinking of something, and you guess what it is. I'll answer by yes and no only. Bess, why don't you go first?
All right. Is it a place, a person, or a thing?
Oh, wait a minute. Only one question at a time. No, it's not a place.
Is it a thing?
Yes, I would say that it is.
Is it a building?
No, not a building.
An animal. Is it an animal?
Well, yes, it is. It's most definitely an animal.
Is it a live animal?
Oh, most definitely.
Is it a wild animal?
Yes, very disagreeable, I tell you.
Is it a monkey?
No.
Is it an elephant?
No.
Wait a minute, Fred. Does it live in London?
Yes, as a matter of fact, it does.
Fred, can you tame this wild animal?
No, not that I've ever heard of.
How about a cow?
No.
Chicken. Chicken. Is it a chicken?
No, not a chicken.
Does it growl?
Oh, it growls all right. It even grunts and talks once in a while.
Oh, talks? Now, Fred, play fair.
Oh, I'm playing fair. It most definitely talks. I've heard it myself on occasion.
Well, if it talks and growls, it must be my husband.
Wait! I have it! I know what it is, Fred.
What is it, Flora?
It's your Uncle Scrooge!
Now, Fred, that's
Really,
cheating.
Fred, you old toad.
Much they saw, and far they went, and many homes they visited that night, always with a happy end. The spirits stood beside sick beds, and they were cheerful. By struggling men, and they were patient in their greater hope. By poverty, and it was rich. In misery's every refuge, he left his blessing, and taught Scrooge his precepts of peace and joy on earth. It was a long night, if it were only a night, a fact that Scrooge had his doubts about, because the Christmas holidays appeared to be condensed into the space of time they passed through together. It was strange, too, that while Scrooge remained unaltered in his outward form, the spirit grew older. Clearly older. Scrooge observed this change, but never spoke of it, until, when looking at the spirit as they stood together in an open place, he noticed that her hair was grey.
Are spirits' lives always so short?
My life upon this globe is very brief. It ends tonight.
Tonight?
Tonight at midnight. Hark, my time is drawing near. We have but one more place to visit before my time.
Where are we now? Oh, I'm sure I don't know this place.
Oh, the name would mean nothing to you. It's a place like many in this world.
Do we have enough wood for the night?
Oh, it'll last through. At least there's one thing that's still free in this country.
Bethany, keep hating it. It's not done yet.
Where you get those taters, Father?
I didn't steal them, if that's what you think.
She didn't say you stole them, Sam.
She should have some respect.
Don't berate the girl. Sweetie, they fell from a cot into the road.
Your father's not a thief, girl. Not yet.
Oh, who are these people out here? People clothed only in rags. Children eating scraps. There are poorhouses for people like this.
Have you visited any of these poor houses you speak of?
No, but I'm taxed for them. Isn't that enough?
Is it? Is that what you truly think?
Sam, come back to the fire.
Look at these hens, Susanna. They're good hens. They've done hard work. I want to work. I want to provide bread for my children. It's not right that there's no work.
It's Christmas, Sam, and we're together. That's the important thing.
I love you, Susanna. I love the children. I can't bear to see them starve. Tomorrow, take the children and go to the parish poorhouse.
No! I'd rather we all drown in the river than go to one of those places and be separated forever.
It's just until I find work.
No! Sam, we're a family. We stay together. Come, let's go back to the fire with the children.
Why do you show me this? What does any of this have to do with me?
Ebenezer Scrooge, have you no concept of duty to your neighbor?
Oh, I know of no such duty. Besides, who is my neighbor?
Mankind is your neighbor. Loving others as you love yourself is your duty to your neighbor.
Spirit, it seems to me that I've heard those lines somewhere. Are you quoting someone I know?
Alas, I fear they are the words of someone you know not at all. For if you knew him, you would surely show compassion to these poor fellow travelers in life.
Oh, but you can hardly expect me to care for every destitute family in the whole of London. I ask you again, why are they here with you? Have they no refuge or resource?
Are there no prisons? Are there no workhouses? Those who are badly off must go there.
Are there no prisons? Are there no workhouses? Those who are badly off must go there. Are there no prisons? Are there no workhouses? Those who are badly off must
You're
go
using my words against me. Please stop. Have you spirits of Christmas no love or pity whatsoever? Oh, kind spirit of Christmas present, have mercy upon me. I beg of you, kind spirit, take leave of me. I cannot bear your presence any longer. Oh, I know that I have been an exceedingly wicked man, but I have already told you, I am too old and past hope. I have not the power to change. I am in the presence of Christmas yet to come. You are about to show me the shadow of things that have not happened, but will happen in time before us. Is this so, kind Christmas yet to come? Oh, kind spirit, you cannot speak. Oh, I fear you more than any specter I have had these past 3 nights. But as I know your purpose is to do me good, and as I hope to live to be another man from what I was, I beg you, lead on. Oh, the night is waiting fast, and it is precious time to me, I know. Lead on, spirit. I know this place. It's the streets, outside the warehouse. Oh, it's like a second home to me.
Have a Merry Christmas, Governor.
Well, old Scratches got his own at last, eh?
So we were told. I wonder how that happened.
I don't know much about it either way. I only know he's dead.
When did he die?
Last night, I believe.
Why, what was the matter with him? I thought he'd never die.
Lord only knows. I don't think he thought he'd ever die either.
I wonder what he's done with his money.
Left it to his company, perhaps. He hasn't left it to us. That's all I know. Poor Scratch. It's likely to be a cheap funeral, for upon my life, I don't know of anyone who would go to it. Suppose we make up a party and volunteer.
I don't mind going if lunch is served, but I must be fed if I make that funeral.
Well, I am the most disinterested among you after all, for I do not wear black gloves and I don't eat lunch. But I'll offer to go if anyone else will. When I come to think of it, I'm not at all sure that we weren't the most particular friends he had. He used to stop and speak to us whenever we met, even if it was to collect what we owed him.
Scrooge and the kindly spirit glided on down the street, hearing one conversation after another, but never once hearing the name of the poor man who had died without a friend in this world. Scrooge was at first inclined to be surprised that the spirit should attach such importance to conversations so trivial, but feeling assured that they must have some hidden purpose. He set himself to consider what it was likely to be. They could scarcely have any bearing on the death of Jacob, his former partner, for that was in the past, and this spirit's province was the future. Nor could he think of anyone immediately connected with himself to whom he could apply them, but nothing doubting that to whomsoever they applied, they had some latent moral for his own improvement, he resolved to treasure up every word he heard and everything he saw, and especially to observe the shadow of himself whenever it appeared. For he had the expectation that the conduct of his future self would give him the clue he missed, and would render the solution of these riddles easy. They left the busy scene and went into an obscure part of the city where Scrooge had never penetrated before, although he recognized its situation and its bad repute. The ways were foul and narrow, the shops and houses wretched, the alleys and archways, like so many cesspools, disgorged their offences of smell and dirt upon the straggling streets, and the whole quarter reeked with crime, with filth and misery. Far in this den of infamous resort, there was a low-browed beetling shop where iron, old rags, bottles, bones, and greasy offal were bought. Sitting in among the wares he dealt by a charcoal stove was a grey-haired rascal, nearly 70 years of age.
You two couldn't have met in a better place to sell your wares. Wait till I shut the door. Oh, how it shrieks! There ain't such a rusty bit of metal in the place as its own hinges. Now, come into the parlour. Come into the parlour. Now then, what odds have ye, I'm sure?
Give me what you can, old Joe. A person has a right to take care of themselves, you know. He always did.
That's true indeed, Mrs. Dilber. Why, no man more so.
I always gives too much to the ladies. It's a weakness of mine, and that's the way I ruin myself. That's your account. If you ask me for another penny, I'll repent of being so liberal and knock off a crown.
And now, undo me bundle, Joe.
What do you call this? Bed curtains?
Ha! Bed curtains.
You don't mean to say you took them down, rings and all, with them lying there?
Yes, I do. And why not, Mrs. Dilber?
You were born to make a fortune, Maggie. And you will certainly do it. Oh, what a nice shirt.
Oh, you may look through that shirt till your eyes ache, but you won't find an hole in it, nor a threadbare place. Why, it's the best he had, and a fine one too. Why, they'd have wasted it if it hadn't been for me.
What do you call wasting of it, Maggie?
Why, putting it on and to be buried in, that's for sure. Someone was fool enough to do it, but I took it off again.
Oh, merciful Christmas yet to come. What perverseness is this? Have you no decency? Please, show me some emotion over this man's death.
Is it good, Samuel? Or is it bad?
Bad, I fear.
Are we quite ruined?
No, there is hope yet, Susanna.
If he relents, there is hope.
Nothing is past hope if such a miracle has happened.
He is past relenting, my dear. He's dead.
Father in heaven, forgive me for feeling as I do at this time. Samuel, are you quite sure?
What his housekeeper told me turned out to be quite true. He's dead as a doornail.
To whom will our debt be transferred?
I don't know, but it would be nearly impossible to find so merciless a creditor in his successor. We may sleep with light hearts tonight, my dears.
Oh, Samuel, I never thought one could feel happiness over someone's death.
Christmas yet to come. I understand that this man must have been an ogre. But is there no feeling in the hearts of mankind any longer? Let me see some tenderness connected with death.
Because you have made the Lord, who is my refuge, even the Most High, your habitation, no evil shall befall you, nor any plague come near your dwelling. For he shall give his angels charge over you. Is something wrong, Mama? Shall I quit reading?
No. The color hurts my eyes. They're better now. It makes them weak by candlelight. Wouldn't show weak eyes to your father when he comes home for the world. It must be near his time.
Past it, rather. But I think he's walked a little slower than he used to walk these past few evenings, Mama.
I have known him to walk with Tiny Tim upon his shoulders very fast indeed. But he was so light to carry, and his father loved him so that it was no trouble. No trouble. There, isn't that your father at the door?
I have just come from the place where we are to lay him to rest. I wish you could have gone. It would have done you good to see how green a place it is. As I was there, it seemed that he slipped his little hand in mine and spoke to me, telling me that we are not to grieve. My little child, my poor little Tiny Tim.
Father, when we think of how kind our Tiny Tim was, we will not want to quarrel among ourselves, will we?
No, my dear. In so doing, we will forget our Tiny Tim.
Why, Sarah, sometimes you think the strangest thoughts. Whatever made you think such a thing?
I don't know, Mama. I just thought it.
I am a happy man. I am truly a happy man.
Christmas yet to come. Tell me, can I not change the future? Are these things which will come, or only might come? I ask for tenderness and depth of feeling, and you've shown me that. There is nothing more I need see. Oh, bear me home, Christmas yet to come. What place is this? I thought that we had agreed that you would transport me home. Kind spirit, something informs me that our parting is at hand. I know it, but I know not how. Please tell me what man it was that died without a friend. Before I draw near to the stone, answer me one question. The things you have shown me, are they the shadows of things that will be? Or are they the shadows of things that only might be? Men's courses will foreshadow certain ends, to which if persevered in, they must lead. But if their courses be departed from, the ends will change. Say it is thus with what you are showing me, kind spirit. Oh, me! Oh, am I the man who has died and no one has grieved? Oh! No Christmas yet to come. Oh, no, no, no.
Depart from me, you cursed, into the everlasting fire prepared for the devil and his angels. For I was hungry, and you gave me no food. I was thirsty, and you gave me no drink. I was a stranger, and you did not take me in. Naked, and you did not clothe me. Sick and in prison, and you did not visit me.
Oh, dear God in heaven, how can these things be? When did I ever see you hungry or thirsty, a stranger or in prison, and did not minister to you?
Because you did not do it to one of the least of these, you did not do it to me. Depart from me, Ebenezer Scrooge. Depart from me, Ebenezer Scrooge. Depart from me, Ebenezer Scrooge.
Oh, dear God in heaven, I beseech you, give me another chance. Oh, I am not the man I was. I will not be the man I must have been. Why have you shown me all this if I am past hope? My own bedchamber. I'm alive. Oh, thank you, Father. Oh, I will keep my promise. I will honor Christmas in my heart and try to keep it all the year. I will live in the past, present, and the future. The spirits of all three will strive within me. Oh, dear God, forgive my selfishness. I have shut you out of my life and many others in the world also. Forgive me. Allow me to have another chance to make up for my evil ways. Oh, Father in heaven be praised. 9 o'clock? Daylight! Oh, what day? Hey, you there, lad! Hello down there!
Me, sir?
Yes, You, my good fellow, what day is it?
Today? Why, it's Christmas Day, of course.
Oh, it's Christmas Day. Oh, I haven't missed it then. Oh, the spirits have done it all in just one short night. Oh, they can do anything they like. Of course they can. Halloo, my fine fellow. Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas to you, Governor.
Do you know the poachers on the next street but one? The one on the corner?
I should hope I do.
Oh, an intelligent young man. Remarkable lad you are, my boy. Do you know whether they've sold the prize turkey that was hanging there in the window?
What? The one nearly as big as me?
Oh, what a delightful lad. Oh, it's a pleasure to talk with him. Yes, my buck.
It's hanging there now.
Oh, it is. Oh, go and buy it. Have the poultry deliver it to this address. Come back in less than 5 minutes and I'll give you half a crown. Now go, my buck. Oh, I'm sending it to Bob Cratchit's. Oh, it's twice the size of Tiny Tim. Oh, Joe Miller's never made such a joke as sending it to Bob's will be. Ooh. I'm as light as a feather. I'm as happy as an angel. Oh, I'm as merry as a schoolboy. Ooh, I'm as giddy as a drunken man. Well, good morning. Merry Christmas to the both of you.
Mr. Scrooge?
Yes, that is my name. And I fear it may not be pleasant to you. Allow me to ask your pardon and accept my pledge to the poor and needy for...
Lord bless me! My dear Mr. Scrooge, are you quite serious?
If you please, and not a farthing less. A great many back payments in it, I assure you.
Why, Mr. Scrooge, we don't know what to say.
Say nothing at all, please. Come and see me, will you?
We will, sir. We will indeed, sir.
I am very much obliged to you. Thank you 50 times. Oh, bless you, and Merry Christmas.
Fred, who could that be?
I'm sure I don't know. No one's expected this early.
Fred.
Why? Bless my soul. Uncle Ebenezer. Is it really you?
It is me, Fred. If the invitation for Christmas dinner is still in effect, I have come to accept.
Why, certainly it is. But I thought you said that Christmas is a humbug.
I said a lot of other things about Christmas too, didn't I, Fred? I said it was a waste of time and money, a false and commercial festival, devoutly to be ignored.
And don't forget that whoever celebrated it should be buried with a stake of holly through his heart. He should.
Did I really say all that about Christmas? Well, I won't say it again. I won't say it again, mark you. That, Fred, was a humbug.
Was it?
Yes. I didn't know it then, but I know it now. Fred, there's another, more important reason I came here today. You will recall, no doubt, inviting me to come and see for myself whether your marriage was truly the making of you. So I have come to meet your good wife.
Why, Uncle Ebenezer, how on earth you ever knew such a thing, I do not know.
Knew what, my dear?
Why, that you were such a good wife, my dear.
Fred, be serious.
Bess, meet my Uncle Ebenezer. Uncle, my wife Bess.
And a very beautiful woman she is too.
You've made us both very happy, Uncle Ebenezer. Welcome to our Christmas feast.
Oh, thank you, my dear. Now, I should like to sample some of that hot punch. By the by, Miss,
Flora, sir.
By the by, Miss Flora, if we should decide to play a guessing game today, and should someone choose to describe a wild animal that growls and moves about the streets of London, the answer is most definitely not Fred's Uncle Scrooge. I am a bit rusty at this. I haven't done it in many a year. But may I?
Please do, Uncle Ebenezer.
A Merry Christmas to us all, my dears. God bless us, everyone. God forgive me for the years that I have wasted.
What a wonderful day it was! Scrooge had never felt such pure joy in all his life. However, he was early at the office the next morning. Oh, he was early! If only he could be the first there and could catch Bob Cratchit coming in late. That was the thing he had his heart set upon. And he did it! Yes, he did it! The clock struck 9. No Bob Cratchit. 1:15. No Bob. He was a full 18 minutes and a half past his time. Scrooge sat with his office door open that he might see him come into his cell.
Mr. Cratchit, what do you mean by coming in at this hour of the day? You would pick my pocket on the day after Christmas too, I suppose.
I am very sorry, sir. I am behind my time, sir.
You are? Yes, I think you are. Sir, step this way, sir, if you please.
It's only but once a year, sir. It shall not be repeated. I was making rather merry yesterday, sir.
Well, I'll tell you what, Mr. Cratchit. I am not going to stand for this sort of thing any longer. And therefore, Mr. Cratchit, I am going to raise your salary. A Merry Christmas to you, Bob Cratchit. A merrier Christmas, Bob, my good fellow, than I have given you in many a year.
Have you come for him, Mr. Fred? He is quite out of his mind, I am afraid.
I hope not, Bob. He's made me his partner.
No, Bob, I've not lost my senses. I've come to them. I'm going to raise your salary and endeavor to assist your struggling family, especially the little lame boy. Tim, isn't it? Now, Mr. Cratchit, you are still in my employ, so you go buy another coal scuttle and bank up that fire, And you do that before you dot another I or cross another T. Bob, we'll discuss your affairs this afternoon over a bowl of simmering bishop.
Yes, sir, thank you, Mr. Scrooge.
To all of us everywhere, a Merry Christmas to us all.
Ebenezer Scrooge was better than his word. He did all, and infinitely more. And to Tiny Tim, who did not die, he became a second father. He was as good a friend, as good a master, and as good a man as the good old city ever knew. Some people laughed to see the alteration in him, but he let them laugh, and little heeded them. For he was wise enough to know that nothing ever happened on the globe for good, at which some people did not have their fill of laughter in the outset. And knowing that such as these would be blind anyway, he thought it quite well that they should wrinkle up their eyes in grins. His own heart laughed, and that was quite enough for him. It was always said of him that he knew how to keep Christmas well, if any man alive possessed the knowledge. May that truly be said of all of us. And so, as Tiny Tim observed, God bless us, everyone.